nodes, and after a few seconds of panic, Gon and Killua manage to contain the leaking aura. Wing activates his Ren and directs it at them until they manage to cross the barrier Bloodlust, after which they return to the Heavens Arena and pass through Hisoka's. Right afterwards, they're confronted by 3 fighters, Guido, Sadaso, and Ryobelt. Gon and Killua rush to the registration desk, where they don't really respond to the clerk's enthusiasm about the prizes. Killua realizes that Guido, Sadaso, and Ryobelt want to pick a fight on the same day as Gon to get an easy win, and Gon gives them the liberty to choose. They receive new rooms and discover Gon's match is scheduled for the following day, March 11th, against Guido. Killua spectates the match in person and yells at Gon to wait for Guido to get dizzy when he uses Tornado Top. He becomes deeply concerned about his friend when he cancels Ken. Gon is eventually defeated, suffering multiple bone fractures. The following day, he chastises Gon for his recklessness. Wing arrives moments later to rebuke him as well, and Killua lies about how long it would take for Gon's injuries to heal. Wing thus forbids Gon from training again for 2 months. He speaks to Killua in private, inquiring about their goals. Killua claims not to have any interest in battle Olympia, but claims he cannot speak of Gon since he was clearly enjoying his match. He admits he's like him at times, only that he knows how to pick his battles. He assures the teacher Gon is not going to break his promise a second time. Sensing his regret, Killua asserts they would have learned then anyway and returns themselves to his training. He returns to Gon's room to inform him that Ring has authorized him to practice the Tango Ring, but finds him already performing it and joins him. 1 month later, he books tickets for Hisoka's match against Kashio. When he goes to Gon's room, he's shocked to see his friend has already made a full recovery. He updates him on the magician's track record, noticing that despite claiming to be scared, Gon looks eager to fight him. Wing, however, forbids Gon from seeing the match. Killua sees part of Kashio's interview and decides to check if he has a reason to be as self-assured as he sounds. He activates Setsu and easily gets past security. He glimpses Kashio sitting in a chair, then a voice
Hi, Grandma.
around, and he sees Kashio.
Hi.
He pretends he's a fan who wants an autograph, but Kashio
Oh, Grandma.
and inquires about his impression.
Oh, the chicken was good. You're welcome.
Kashio returns the compliment, warning him to activate Setsu when he's further away. Killua asks him how he managed to be seeing through Killua's lie that he no longer intends to fight at the Heavens Arena, then specifies the match will give him the answer. As soon as the match begins, Killua notices an irregularity in Kashio's attacks. He recognizes his Tiger Bite fist, and when he's on his double ability, Killua thinks that his initial impression that for a moment Kashio had appeared was correct. Like the rest of the audience, he is appalled by his show, which allows him to heal his opponent. 1 month later, Killua and Gon reprise their training. The two are mesmerized by the monastery, after which Killua asks Wing what Hisoka's ability is. He plays the game for them and states the magician is the students are unable to see them. He tells them Hisoka is considered and casts her so they can see them in the show. Killua is true knight. After Gon pinpoints Sushi, he decides to head to Killua so he arrives with him. On the elevator, he sees Ryobelt and Sadaso with him. Killua is annoyed by the persistence and leaves his room. Having sensed Sadaso's predictions, after their finishing practice, Killua shadows Sushi. He's knocked unconscious by the door. He steps out, offering to take Gon's place, leaving him waiting. After registering, he points them out to him. He trails off. As he carries the show, he thinks to himself that it's difficult to live without feeling. That night, he learns to go to the following day. He pretends to have found Sushi asleep on the steps, and he's waiting for him to managing to see all the teacher and correcting his problems. Since both Gon and Killua have achieved good working command of the teacher allows them to fight. So Killua the date of his schedule, pretending it's his birthday. Later, he's going to spend the opponents, and Killua asserts they will never do anything of that sort again. On the day of his match, 10 minutes before the start, he appears in Sadaso's dressing room and threatens to kill him if he ever shows up before him before going again. Killua is thus declared winner by withdrawal. After Sadaso, who has left the Heavens Arena for good, informs Guido and Ryobelt, the latter speculates Killua did not come for them because he doesn't know their abilities. Killua makes his presence manifest, maintaining that he simply knew he warned them ahead of time. He recommends they respect the rules. He and Gon keep training, and on June 4th, Killua observes Gon taking note of his friend's figure. Later, he becomes real. As soon as this happens, Killua ends up attacking Snake, but chose to escapes with all of us. The latter pulls out his guns and tries belt if he wants him to catch him. Real Belt begs to him, so Killua complies while holding onto his electrical whips, knocking him out. After the match, he cautions Gon about the electricity, to which the boy responds he has already come up with a plan. Killua gets another win after Ito forfeits and watches Gon's run through Real Belt. The following day, Wing introduces his students to Hatsu. Through water divination, Killua is revealed to be a transmuter. After 1 month, Killua and Gon hone their Hatsu to the point that Wing announces they've mastered the basics. He tells Killua that he will pass the hunter exam without any problems should he attempt it again. The following day, he spectates Gon's fight against Hisoka, thinking that Hisoka's awareness of his superiority causes him to be careless. When Hisoka shares the character traits associated with enhancers and transmuters, Killua reflects that he's correct. He's shocked when Hisoka gives Gon a sample of his real power and realizes he has attached bungee cord, although only after the fact, as well as the difficulty of avoiding the ability. After the match, Killua and Gon pack up and set off to Whale Island, York New City arc. As soon as they arrive at Gon's house, Mito brings them into line. After a hearty lunch, the two boys explore the forest. Gon takes Killua to the place where he met Kite and comes upon a welcome back gift left by Kon. When night falls, as they stargaze, Killua reflects that, unlike Gon, he doesn't have a goal, only things that he doesn't want to do. Gon embarrasses him by claiming Killua is his first friend his age, but after a moment he reciprocates. He agrees to travel around with Gon until he finds something he wants to do. He then inquires about Gon's birthday, to which the boy replies Mito is his birthday. They head back and Killua bosses him for a moment to talk about sharing downstairs. In the morning, he tries unsuccessfully to twist Gon's attention. He suggests Gon try using N, LP's race, revealing an inscription on Gon's promise on its components. Gon opens up the next box with his hunter's lessons. They find 3 items inside: a cassette tape, a ring, and a memory card. Before they listen to the tape, Killua recognizes the same notes before. The recorded voice turns out to be Shin's, who challenges Gon to find it. He stops the tape before learning anything about his biology. After that, the tape begins reminding itself, and the stereo records over it. Killua tries to stop it by breaking it, but June's aura prevents him from doing any damage. In the end, both teams are to wait for June to cover his tracks, particularly against tracking man abilities. They focus on the memory card next, which Killua identifies as belonging to a joy station. He orders one for his company shipping. All 30 slots of the memory card turn out to be used up by a native on the island. Killua copies the save files before looking into the game, which is out of production. He discovers it's for hunters only, and it's sold at extraordinary prices. When they can't find any used copies, and after posting an ad and receiving a series of scam offers, Killua calls to look for information on the game, trading it for a copy of the memory card. He advises him to look it up on the Hunter's website and tells him copies of the game will be auctioned off at the Southern East auction. He prevents Gon from using his Hunter license on his phone. When they receive the Hunter website's URL,
Rockin' Royale, where the vocals hit hard and the guitars hit harder.
That players are transported into it, and that 7 copies will be auctioned off in New City. They try to find valuable loot to sell so they can participate in the auction until their differences of opinion turn their money-raising attempts into a competition. Killua manages to raise 256 million before a gambler gives him ridiculous, causing him to lose the competition. As they roam a market, Killua talks Gon into the second home. They're assisted by Leorio, who brings down the price of a better mark. In their hotel room, they discuss how to proceed regarding the Southern East auction. Killua observes that something that can be bought is not a real treasure, which Leorio and Gon oppose. Leorio comes up with the idea of creating a conditional auction based on arm wrestling, where contenders pay a fee to challenge Gon and win a diamond. Killua has misgivings about the diamond due to the low profit. He notices that Gon shows real against him. By the following day, the number of challengers has already decreased as rumors began to spread. Leorio, however, isn't worried, as that was his plan. As he predicted, they're contacted by people from the Underground who give them an invitation to a conditional auction where the Mafia offers 200 million for each of the 7 people on the list they captured. Killua surmises that the 7 targets are survivors that they stole from the Mafia, which is the reason why the selection and payment methods of the conditional auction were changed. This prompts them to call Kurapika, who doesn't pick up the phone. Against Leorio's hope that Kurapika has already captured a few members of the troop, Killua reveals that his father killed one 3 years before and warned his children to stay away from spiders. On September 3rd, they purchased the Southern East catalog, where they learn more about the day of the Greed Island moving auction. After that, they post an ad for the reward. As they walk next to a stand participating in a silent auction, Gon picks up a knife, which Killua recognizes as Van's knife. He has the Oreo get it for them and asks Gon how he knew it was a valuable object. Gon replies he sensed aura around it, which causes Killua to determine they can use Kyo to solve problems made by master craftsmen. The two participate in the silent auction. They find 4 objects shrouded in aura, and on all of them, someone named Zephyrus has already made a bid. Killua proposes making a bid at the last minute, which allows them to win 3 items. They take them to the Southern Peace auction house, but they're told their catalog has long since been completed, and suggest they try auctioning their items off at a dealer's market. Killua has an antique dealer appraise their items, which he passes off as property he found in his parents' storehouse. The specialist they turn to is sincere in his appraisal of the lithograph and the handmade doll, but lies about the worth of the wooden statue. Zebal prevents Gon and Killua from being swindled, claiming the statue is likely a vaulted treasure. In return for his help, they treat him to lunch. They start to exchange information by asking one question each, with Gon and Killua explaining they only picked objects that have aura around them, and that Gon wants to find a copy of Green Island because it might contain clues as to where he can find his father. Zebal reveals he made the vase the 2 boys were bidding on when he was working as a counterfeit, and impressed with them and smitten with Gon complimenting his craftsmanship skills, offers them his services. He opens the wooden vault and the 3
Happy Mapper, happy
where,
camper.
in order to lower the price, some interested parties list ways to use the contents of the vault later be forged. Despite Zebal's intervention, customers hesitate. Curious, Gon asks what doctoring methods exist, and he explains cauterization, autopsy, and osteo. They're contacted by Leorio, who's received from the spiders. Gon and Killua run off, leaving Zebal in charge of the auction. They meet up with Leorio, and the 3 head to the bar where Nobunaga and Manju were spotted. Killua determines they're too powerful for them to take on, and realizes they want to lure someone out. The increase in tension between the spiders causes Gon, Killua, and Leorio to tense up. When the 2 prepare to leave, Gon insists on carrying on with the plan. Killua agrees to track them with Zets on the condition they fall back at the first sign of danger. He asks Gon if he has any shadowing experience, and he replies he followed Hisoka during Hunter exam, which earns him a punch from Killua. Although the 2 spiders can sense them, they can't determine their position. When the 2 stop in the middle of the courtyard, Gon and Killua hide in the adjoining abandoned building. When Nobunaga glances in Killua's direction, the 2 attempt to escape, but find 2 other spiders blocking their way. Killua runs into Finks and tries to confuse him with his speed, but the spider grabs him by the ankle and dodges the rocks he throws at him, as well as blocking his kick. By tearing the skin off his ankles, Killua manages to free himself. However, Nobunaga cuts his retreat, having entered the room through the window. They begin to interrogate Killua, who answers their questions sincerely. After asking him if he knows any Nen user who wears chains, Nobunaga demands to know if he prefers to die immediately. Killua accepts the intruders for hideout. Killua spots Hisoka as soon as they enter, and they pretend not to know each other. Gon, however, reacts to his presence, but Killua manages to pass off his surprise reaction as being aimed at Shizuku, who arm wrestled him for the diamond. Impressed that Gon defeated her, Nobunaga challenges him at the same game. He beats him several times without effort, while talking about Ugokin and the Chain Tooth. Killua repeats they've never heard of him, so Nobunaga threatens to kill him if he speaks out of place again. As he continues talking about him, Killua realizes the Chain Tooth is Kurapika. When Gon, in a fit of rage, defeats Nobunaga and is restrained by Phaeton, Killua moves to help him, but Hisoka points a card at his throat. From the spiders' interactions, Killua understands that Pakunoda has the power to read memories through physical contact, and that she's checked them. Nobunaga decides to keep them around until the Boros return to nominate Gon as Ugokin's replacement. Gon and Killua are locked in a room, with Nobunaga guarding the only entrance. Killua agonizes over whether he would have been able to intervene had the spiders wanted to kill Gon, sensing he would have left him to die. As Ilumi's voice echoes ominously in his mind, he rejects that conclusion and stands up, ready to fight. However, he quickly desists and punches the wall in frustration. After a while, Gon tries to remember the 3 doctoring methods explained to them by Zebal. Killua prepares to lay down his life to let Gon escape, despite being aware their chances are extremely slim. Gon stops him by punching him, which causes them to bicker until Gon remembers the 3rd doctoring trick, osteo. They prepare for combat, but instead of engaging Nobunaga, they each take a hole in the laminate wall. Closest to the stairs, Killua immediately runs down, but returns to pick up Gon when he asks for his help. They escape while in a state of sets, with Killua chastising Gon for his naivete, as they would have never managed to defeat the swordsman. To get stronger so they can continue chasing the truth, Killua proposes asking Kurapika. As he believes he's the chain guy, they finally get through to Kurapika. Killua asks him for help in improving his Nen, but Kurapika refuses to help them against the truth, even when Killua offers information in exchange. Killua eventually snaps, swearing he will do anything to get Kurapika to cooperate, before handing the phone back to Gon. Kurapika promises to call them back. They return to the hotel where they find Zephyl and Leorio drinking themselves silly. After they recount what they've gone through, Killua states that for Kurapika to have managed to kill Spider, there must be some secret to end. Shortly afterward, Kurapika calls Gon to let him know said Romantic is dead. Killua and Gon reunite with Kurapika the following day, while the two boys have an ice cream eating contest in Maywood Park. After Leorio joins the group, Kurapika tells them about the intention and vows, adding that he will die if he loses his ability outside of the truth. Troubled by the importance of information, Killua protests against Kurapika's decision to share it with them, and warns him that one of the surviving members had the ability to read memories. Unable to predict what Hisoka will do with his target, Killua incites Kurapika to go after the spiders as soon as possible. With the initial objective of finding a reward offered by the Mafia, Kurapika refuses, but moments later he receives a text from Hisoka telling him the spiders escaped on the way. Melody also tells him the 10 dogs had canceled the reward, causing Killua to change his mind about pursuing the truth. Gon insists on going through with it, adding he has a plan on how to access Reed Island, of which he doesn't want to disclose the details yet. Finding the estimation and correcting chances is satisfactory. Killua agrees to leave the game to him and chase the spiders, provided Kurapika assists them. He silently wishes Kurapika will turn them down, but he ends up accepting their help. Killua volunteers to monitor their hideout. He protests when Kurapika gives Gon the job of extracting the truth, so he can abduct Noda. Killua and Leorio leave the table after Gon asks Kurapika to point a Nen blade at his heart, but return clandestinely and eavesdrops on his explanation, making themselves manifest when Kurapika seems to be about to go along with Gon's request, and demand he does the same. Kurapika retorts he had no intention of stabbing anyone with Judgment Chain, and that he shared the secrets to reward his friends for their loyalty. Feeling more motivated than before, Killua stakes out the troops' hideout, but finds out that dozens of identical buildings have sprung out in the surrounding area. He explores the area and updates Kurapika, who tells him to go back to his post and wait for Melody to reach him. Sometime later, she calls him from the top of a building nearby, telling him to hang up the phone and whisper her a command so she can prove her identity to him. Thanks to her hearing, he managed to follow the group of spiders who leave the hideout from a safe distance, even as they mingle with the crowd. Melody asks Killua if he's an assassin, which he confirms. He awkwardly states he's not helping Kurapika because he wants to, prompting her